Hi everyone, my name is Nuria and today we're going to do a tutorial on crow pose. Crow pose is an arm balance and therefore it requires a lot of strength on the wrists, on the arms, on the shoulders and the core. It also requires for us to overcome the fear of falling flat on our face. On this arm balance, we're going to be having our face pretty close to the mat and that can feel quite scary. It took me years to be able to do crow pose, so don't get discouraged. Just continue working on your upper body strength, and if you're consistent, I'm sure you will get there. We're gonna first start with a bit of a warm-up for our arms and shoulders and wrists, and then we will get into crow pose. So I want you to grab a cushion and a block. If you don't have a yoga block, don't worry, we will make it work too. So we're gonna start by bringing our palms together, and we're gonna be pressing into them as if we were holding a block. If you have a block, you're actually going to hold the block. So pressing deeply into the block with both hands and really do it with intention. Now from here, we're going to start moving our arms up. Sorry guys that I cannot see you, but keep pressing into that block. From here, then we're going to be moving our hands up. Keep pressing, and then one last push to bring them overhead. And I want you to be doing it with so much intention that you should be seeing your arms shaking. Definitely my arms are shaking. Now we're gonna leave the block to one side, and we're gonna do some wrist stretches. I want you to open your hands, fingers really well spread, and then close. Open and close. Open and close. Keep doing it. It's really good for the wrists. We spend so much time typing in front of the computer that they definitely deserve a little bit of love. From here, we're going to bring our hands into prayer position, pressing the palms against each other. And now we're going to revert the position of the hands. Be gentle here. Adjust your pressure. You want to make sure you feel a nice stretch, but that you're not hurting yourself. From here, we're going to come into all fours. You're going to make sure that your wrists are right under your shoulders and that your knees are right under your hips. Now here, we're going to do a cat-cow sequence to warm up our spine. We're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to push the pelvis out, we're going to arch the spine, and we're going to press the chest forward through the shoulders. Now we're going to release the toes, we're going to tuck the pelvis under, we're going to round the spine, and we're going to look into the belly button. Now again, starting with the feet, tucking the toes under, pushing the pelvis out, arching the spine, chest forward, looking forward and down, releasing the toes, tucking the pelvis under, rounding the spine, looking into the belly button. One last time. Tucking the toes under, pushing the pelvis out, arching the spine, and really pushing that chest through the shoulders. And now we're going to come into a neutral spine. From here, I want you to change the position of your fingers. They're going to be now pointing towards your knees. And now you're going to push your hips forward. And then you're gonna push your hips back, and that's gonna give you a really nice stretch of the wrists. Again, pushing your hips forward and then pushing them back. Adjust the movement to whatever feels good for you, where you feel a nice stretch, but for sure you're not hurting yourself. Now back to the original position. From here, we're gonna tuck the toes and we're gonna push the hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. Here we're gonna check, make sure that our feet are hip width apart, pushing through the hands. And now we're gonna exhale, come into plank. Inhale, come down into downward facing dog. Inhaling, coming into plank. Exhaling into downward facing dog. Inhaling into plank. Exhaling into downward facing dog. From here, we're gonna do half sun salutations. They are a great full body workout so that we warm up everything that we need for crow pose. So coming forward into plank. From here, we're gonna bring the chest all the way down into the mat, point the toes, inhaling, bringing the chest up, bending the knees, tucking the toes under, and coming into downward facing dog. Here, pushing through the hands, neck is relaxed, looking at the space between the feet. Now again, coming forward into plank, bending the elbows, bringing the chest down, pointing the toes, pushing through the hands, coming into cobra, bending the knees, tucking the toes under, and coming back into downward facing dog. One last time, inhaling forward into plank, exhaling chest to mat, pointing the toes, cobra, bending the knees, tucking the toes under, and coming all the way back into downward facing dog. From here, we're gonna bend the knees and come back into all fours. Now I want you to sit down for a second and watch me first before you try doing it. I want to show you how crow pose looks like so that we can have it in mind as we do some more exercises. So we're gonna have our hands flat on the mat. We're gonna be bringing our feet on the mat. We're gonna be having our hips up. And now we're gonna bring our knees as high up as we can, pressing into our forearms, and then our forearms pressing into the knees. Then we're gonna bring the body weight forward, and we're gonna bring one foot up, then the other foot up, and the toes together. And we're in crow pose. Okay, let's break it down. So we're gonna start by doing it resting on our back. So we're going to be bringing the toes together, the knees are apart, the knees are coming as close as possible into the armpits. Now we're going to have our arms between our legs, our palms are going to be flat against the ceiling, and we're going to be pressing our legs into our arms and our arms into our legs. Here we are, we're doing crow pose already. Here it's important that we make sure that our knees are above the elbow, that we're not adding pressure into the elbow joint. That would hurt the elbow joint. Okay, so now let's give it a go. We're gonna grab that block again, and we're gonna grab the cushion. We're gonna place the cushion where our face would be, and our block where our feet would be. Then we're gonna bring our feet on top of the block. We're gonna bring our arms between the legs, the palms flat on the mat, bringing our hips up. Now we're gonna push those legs into the forearms, forearms into the legs. Then we're gonna bring the body weight forward, one foot up, other foot up. There we are, crow pose. And we come down. Keep trying with one leg first and then the other. Already being able to lift one foot, that's already a huge achievement. And now we're gonna try it one last time, but without the block. Remove the block to one side. Again, we have our hands flat on the mat. Now we're gonna come up into our toes. Remember, we're bringing those knees as high up as possible. And now we're gonna be pressing the legs into the arms into the legs, and then one foot up and then the other foot up. If we fall, the cushion is there to hold us. There you go. From here, when you've had enough, you're gonna move the cushion away and you're gonna come into child's pose. Toes together, knees wide apart, and the forehead all the way down into the mat. And breathing here. If you enjoyed this tutorial, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more happy, healthy yoga. If you have any suggestion for any content you would like me to create, just write it on the box below. Thank you.